Hi everyone, it's Jay from Mitosu Crafts. Thank you for joining me today. We're an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrators based in the UK, so if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, and the Netherlands, you'll be able to purchase Stampin' Up! Products from our online shop. So today I'm blog hopping and video hopping with the Creating Kindness design team, and I'm sharing this fun fancy fold with a floral theme. So make sure you check out the description below for the next video in the hop. But this is how it comes up. So it's a triangular easel card, and it's my take on that fold. And it folds flat to send via post, as well as it will fit your normal envelope as well, C6 envelope. There you go. So for today, I've actually gonna change it up slightly. So I used this Ballad designer series paper, but I'm gonna change it to this design. I'm gonna keep the card base the same, which is Sahara sand, 14 centimeters by 21 centimeters, or that's 5.5 by 8.25. The two designer series paper that we need is, what's that, 5.25 by 3 7/8, or that's 13.3 by 9.8. And then this one for the outside, for the card front, it is, where am I, 6 centimeter that way by 9.2, that's times 2, so that is 12 centimeters by 9.2, or 4 3/4 by 3 5/8. Yeah, there we go. So you'll need the To a Wild Rose stamp set, and I'm using these 3 today, and then the Wild Rose dies, so for the belly band inside and the flower inside. There we go. And for the colors, I'm using Balmy Blue, Pool Party, and Old Olive. Right, let's get started. I've gone ahead and pre-die cut. Bars just came in. Making faces. Pre-die cut on thick Whisper White. Oh, I've lost my seat. Tommy's on it. Yeah, anyway, pre-die cut that, and I've actually stamped the flowers, but I'll show you quickly how to do that. And also, I forgot this one, Old Olive cardstock, which is 9.25 by 9.25 by an inch, or that is 23.5 by 2.5 centimeters. And you actually have an offcut there as well, which you can probably, I'll try and use for the easel inside. There we go. So we'll do some stamping first, and then I will crack on with the fold. So let's have, so To a Wild Rose is a photopolymer stamp set, and it comes with 13 designs. So I'm gonna do that one. And where is my paper? So there we go. As you can see, I've cut out quite a bit already. So initially I did the original one without the background stamp, but because the DSP, design series paper, is gonna be white, I wanted it to pop out a bit more. So I thought leaving some white areas will blend into the background a bit more. But if you have colored designer series paper for the background, I think the white looks great on there. So this one was done in Memento, and I thought the outline was a little bit too dull, So I'm actually gonna use Stays On. So just to show you the difference, well, you can see the difference actually on here. So this one was in Stays On, and that one was in Memento. Okay, so with the Stays On, just make sure, because it's photopolymer, can you actually see me here? Photopolymer stamp, just make sure that you do have the Stays On cleaner and clean it right after you've done your stamping. So I'm inking it up nice and wet, and just double check that it is covered. There we go. Where's the lid? So do that twice. Shall I do it again? No, I'll just do it once for you. I've already done mine, but I'll quickly just show you. So just Stays On cleaner. It smells lovely, Stays On. I hardly use it because my go-to ink is normally Memento, but it just creates a lovely crisp image. Right, so that's nice and clean. And then we have Pool Party for the background stamp. So I've dotted the photopolymer to know that that indentation matches there, but with this stamp it's actually the opposite area that I align to make sure that it's nice and aligned. There we go. So I know that it's there, and then I use the bottom edges to make sure that it's within the flower or inside the flower, and that just gives a lovely coat all around the flower. And then we can go in with Balmy Blue for the next stamp. And then this one, so that is done. I'll clean that later. So that coordinates with this die, and then just run that through your die cutting machine. And it is quite tight in within the die, but there is just enough border to leave a white space. So that's what you would do with that. And you need 2 of those. Okay. Pre-cut the label as well. I do have, I've cut off a bit of on top because my paper was small, but you'll need, I kind of like, not cheated, I hacked it because I didn't want the full length anyway. So you can do some people use folded card to make their easel, but I just wanted to keep it 1 layer. So what you could do is you could align it at 4.5 and then cut it through. My original card, if you can see, I actually just cut off the end bit just to have a straight edge for the easel bit. So you can align it at 4.5 or 1 3/4 this edges, and then you can just cut them off so you know that that's straight and you got a straight edge on there, because it's gonna be hidden anyway. It doesn't matter that it's been chopped off. So whilst we have the trimmer, we can do the card base. So for the card base, I am scoring at 10.5 or 4 1/8. Is that, oh, that came out, there you go. I couldn't feel it. So you just have a score line there. Burnish it quickly, and then we'll go back in again. So turn it 90 degrees, and then you need to cut at 7 centimeters or 2 3/4. So 7 centimeters, 2 3/4. And that is from the score line. Okay, so that is from there, 4 1/8. So what's great about the paper trimmer is it's got the points on the left hand side and the right hand side, and you can align it where you want it. Press it down, and there you go. Ta-da! And then once you've cut that, we'll need to do the scoring across, diagonally even. So what you could do is either do it via your paper trimmer or with your take a pick tool. Has it actually got a ball? He says. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So you can change it up with that. So what you can do, because sometimes even though, because yeah, there's no straight lines across it, so you're just basically doing it by eye, but you can use your paper trimmer as well if you want to. So I'll show you the way. So align that corner, and then align that in the middle as well. Will that actually work if I do it that way? Ah, it does work. I didn't think of that. So if you align, you can't see, align the bottom corner, to the top corner. There's not enough space for my trimmer to go, so you can see it. Can you actually see it? If I do this way, so you can see. There you go. So I'm aligning this corner to that corner on the line, and then take that down. If you have your score ball tool, you can just do it that way, or align that about from there and then just go up. But for more precision, use your ball tool. Okay, and then you need to do the other way, which is this corner to that corner. Okay, right. I put the guard down just to help me not move across. Ooh, that went a bit funky there. Oh, it'll be fine. It's just right now in the corner. Okay, so it will look like that, or much better than that, hopefully, with yours. And that is done. We'll burnish that in a second. For the next one, so this is going to be inside, and this one, which is 4 3/4 by 3 5/8. I'm actually gonna cut that in half, so that will be Where's my notes? 2 and something. 2 and 3/8. 2, 1, 2, 3. Was that 12? Yeah, 12 centimeters to 6. So 2 and 3/8. There we go. So if you keep that in mind, that's how you cut it, you can do the cut lines diagonally like so. So that one to there. So again, you can just align the top and the bottom. But if you start in the middle, take it down, go up, and then carefully push it back down, and then go out that way. So that's one down, and this one will go the other way. On that one, move that in, take it down, out, carefully push it back because you don't want to trim off any sliver, and then go back down out. And there you go. So that is gonna be for the front. Is that all of my cutting done? I think so, he says. Oh, for the belly band, whilst it's here, you can score at, what did I do? I think that's 1.5. Yeah, 1.5. So just initially score it at 1.5 or 3.8. It's just to help it along later on. Well, the trimmer is just there, so hopefully that'll be fine. And then you just need to fold this in and burnish it. And just make sure you give a bit more pressure on it. And then do the same for the other one. This one might be a bit, because I did 2 score lines on there. So hopefully yours will be better, as I said. There's biscuit crumbs. My cousin is from Canada, and she gave us a maple biscuit. It was lovely, and we finished it in one sitting. Oink oink. Anyway, yeah, so thank you for that, Ate Jean. Right, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there, and that goes there. So it gives like a nice border in between. I don't think you need another layer, just to keep it nice and flatter, and the weight isn't too much either. So that is gonna be stuck on. I might as well stick that on. Right, like so. So use your favorite adhesive. I tend to prefer multi-liquid glue, and I'm just lining it up and to have a border in the corner, and hoping that I sat down and I can't see, sorry. And that is why I like liquid glue. If you do change your mind and can't line it up properly in the first place, like me, there you go. And then the next one. Again, a nice border on the straight edges. I'm just hoping that diagonal is correct, because it's a weird measurement. It's actually, when you cut it in diagonal, it's not the same, I don't think, if that makes sense. It's not the same ratio that you basically cut away. So for example, that rectangle, if I cut off 1/8 of an inch, it doesn't, on both edges, the top and the bottom, the diagonal line doesn't look right. So let's just say I've cut a couple of papers and wasn't happy with it. There we go. And then on the inside, I'm just gonna put this in. So I thought I wasn't too sure whether I wanted it as blank, so I thought I'll keep it in. I'll use another DSP. So great way to share your designer series paper and use them up, because Barry and I tend to not use them. We love them, just don't use them because it's just so pretty. And there we go. So that's the first done, and that looks lovely actually. There we go. If I say so myself, even. So that is done. What else do we need to do? We have our this one. So for the sentiment, so initially I used 2 stamp set. So I'll just keep it to 1, because to a wild rose stamp you do have, albeit slightly bigger leaves, so I'll just use that. You do have 2-step stamping as well on there to color, but I'm just gonna keep the outline in old olive, and I'm just gonna put hello for the sentiment. Obviously use whatever sentiment you prefer. So let's do that now. That looks a bit funky. I think that's from my die cutting plate. So we have that one in old olive. And I'm gonna do sentiment. I'm just gonna do hello. Because that one's gonna be too big. Where's the other stamp? There we go. Alright, so I'll use Memento this time, and I'm just gonna do that just to give you an idea. Hello. And you can add hello friend. Oopsie. What's that? If that does happen, you can use the Stampin' Right marker or a journaling pen, because it's just a tiny bit there. There we go. Not too shabby. And I'm just gonna do, wait. I don't want to put ink on there. So you can just go so. That will do fine. There we go. Right, what next? So that one. So I'll pop adhere that via dimensionals. Will this be long enough? Actually, this one I forgot for the easel bit. So let's see, how long are you? 2.5. Yeah, that'll be enough. I'll just cut that down to 1.5 centimeters or 5/8. Doesn't matter, it's just, yeah, 5/8. So I'll just do it, keep it the original way. So 1 inch, 2 inch, and then 2 3/4, which is still the same. All right. Burnish it. And then add it on. That's good. And then that will go there. That's straight. And then that one will go there. And yes, hopefully. Fingers crossed. There we go. And ta-da! Woo! Okay, so I put it quite far down onto the flower. So that's 1 inch, 2.5 centimeters, the same length as that one, and only a tiny bit on the back there. So just burnish the folds again, and then that should keep it in place. But you can move your flower closer on top if you want it higher, just to keep your flower standing up, because if it's too far down it might not catch it, or you need a taller flower. There we go. So what's great about the glue dot is you can lift the back bit higher or add it on a dimensional as well. Okay, and then that one stays. Well, not if it's up like that. Right, anyway, we can crack on. So with this one, you can, it depends where you want it. You can have it again as kind of like close like that, depending on the width of your label. die or your topper. So, but I quite like that it's centralized and it's high like so. So this one touches there, and that's about an inch, or just, let's try it. Oh, Tommy's on the ruler. He's asleep. So that one is 2.8, and that is, yeah, an inch. So you can either have a band again on there to keep that way, but I wanted to use the topper, this, to hold it in place. So I'm just gonna add dimensionals. There we go. I'm just gonna burnish that so it keeps it in place. And then what you could do is you can glue it that way whilst that is whilst the fold is holding its shape. I can't find my words, like every time. Not just today. There you go. So if we keep that in place that way, and if you do it lightly first, so you might need to do a higher up, and then burnish this fold. Add a bit more pressure, and then that will keep that in place. Ta-da! Got there in the end. Okay, so we'll go on to the belly band just to keep it nice and close. Obviously, as soon as you move it, it does kind of like come off. You can add a bit more height to there, like double it up if you want to, and then that will add more. It will secure it more in place. But once it's on your I guess on your shelf, you're gonna keep it upright anyway. And what I quite like about this is you can also have it standing up that way, he says. Well, anyway, the first one did. So anyway, right, the belly band will crack on. So for the belly band, I've already scored, if you can remember, that side. So what you can do is help that along, and you don't want it too tight, so I always just add a bit of space in between, and then you can just fold the rest like so, and that will give you enough space to then glue that in. And I just want that nice and straight. And then glue that in, and glue this end so you know that both ends will be glued. Don't blob it. And then for this one, you can leave it like that, but it's quite long, so I actually again hacked it off in the middle. So let's see. There we go. And that's gonna be there, and that's gonna be there. So if that's gonna be there, I'm just gonna hack this bit off. Oh, can you hear that? That's Tommy and my stomach. Maybe you can't hear it, but he is snoring away. Okay. So just to give you an idea, I'm just gonna actually dot this round. But take your time if you prefer to be all stuck on, but it should be secure anyway. So I'm just having that all the way up. Is that straight? It's all gonna get covered with the flower anyway, and I'm just gonna do it that way. You can cut it even more if you want, but if you're gonna be putting the flower on top, you don't need to. So with the other belly band, it was straight onto the actual band. So to do that, you just need to gauge where you are and how far you want it. So I'm just gonna literally just add glue. Add glue. There we go. Press it down. Right, let it dry for a minute or two just to keep it secure, and I'm just tidying it up, and there we go. So thank you so much for joining me today to create this fun fancy fold with the florals theme for the Creating Kindness design theme video and blog hop. So check the description below for the items that I've used today and for the next video in the hub. You can also join our team if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, and the Netherlands. If you'd like future discounts on Stampin' Up products. Thank you so much for joining me again. Until next time, bye!